Hi there. Sorry I haven't posted in a long time. I sometimes just don't feel like doing social media. I do manage to keep up with a TikTok account, but that is like it. And Patreon, but I don't do nearly enough stuff on there. So if you ever join it and just want to like join for a month and pay $5, watch the content and then drop it, I totally would never take that personal. It's not really about the money either. I mean, I got so daggone tired of my videos being shut down, and certain topics I just don't discuss on public forums anymore. But I have this neighbor that has been talking to me for several months, and I mean, it's like a friendship type situation. I'm not interested in the guy. Whether he's interested in me or not, I don't know. But he's like this guy that walks through the neighborhood, like walks for exercise, like every morning. And so I'm often sitting out on the porch, and he'll talk to me. And so we've gotten into discussions about conspiratorial topics, I suppose you could say, and about how things are a lie. And he is relatively open-minded with certain things, but then other stuff, is too much for him, which is understandable. That happens with plenty of people. But this dude said to me yesterday, well, and he said to me one other time. One time he told me that he thought I was misguided because I don't just worship the God of the Bible and just take that, blindly follow that like truth. And over many of our discussions we've had about the Bible, it's obvious that he's not very well versed in it. And so, whatever, we've had to agree that, the religion thing we don't even need to discuss. I'm not ever going back to that nonsense. And as to stagnate and devolve and to save the system, to save souls from leaving. The biblical canon is called canon for a reason. A canon is a weapon. The message has been weaponized. It's ancient knowledge that we all once knew, and then we've been devolved. And, that the reason that there's a, quote, reincarnation trap here is not because there's a literal trap as much as we're on such a low frequency, we're not able to get out. You have to be on a higher personal frequency in order to get out of this dimension. I also feel that it's quarantined. Anytime that evil comes into a realm, I feel that the realm is quarantined, because evil spreads like a parasite. It's an unnatural parasitic force. Like it is the creation of AI, basically. Like AI is ancient, old, and like we created, man, the same consciousness, our consciousness created AI. But it's not linked to us. And so it is what created evil. And then AI requires our energy to stay in existence. I mean, even these tools here today, like the internet and stuff, I mean, it gets a lot of our energy. And likely they are tools of the ancient AI system. Money and technology. Those things like run the world. Anyways, so this neighbor says to me at one point that I am misguided. And then somehow it came up a couple weeks ago that I do not think the earth is a globe. And that one like blew him away, and he was like, well, you're just being totally misled, And yet, he's completely unaware of the fact that, like, people were taught that the earth was flat until 1951 in the school system. There are countless military documents. I mean, we're inside a sphere, inside of a snow globe. We're not on top of one. Honestly, it's a simulated reality, and it's a construct, and it changes. Whatever you feel it is what it is. Now, somehow we're also having a collective experience, and there are certain parameters programmed into this reality, I think. Like, we have to stay within certain data points, for example. Like, free will is free choice. It's not the freedom to completely create anew, for example. Like, you have to choose from the data that's in the simulation. There's nothing new under the sun. You have to make choices from the data points that are in here. It's just how I see it. And I also feel that our eyeballs, they have a pupil. And our eye, like we refer to our vessel as eye, like that's our whole vessel. And so our eye is significant. And the pupil means student. And it's like a black hole. And I feel all of our pupils go to the same quantum field, and them together may be the black hole sun, the all-seeing eye, something like that. But anyway, so it's a construct. It's not a globe. If you've ever really looked into, flat Earth, I mean, people find validity to it. I mean, I wouldn't even say that you can prove what the shape of the earth is, but there is enough evidence out there to prove that the globe is nonsense, in my opinion. I mean, science is something that is observable and repeatable. And it is observable and repeatable that there is no curvature ever accounted for in any construction, like hundreds of miles of railway, canals, like the Panama Canal, stuff like that. There are large expanses of land where you can see across 50 to 100 miles, and they're supposed to be like 8 inches per mile or something. I mean, there are certain things that are just not possible with this narrative. Basically, this neighbor that has never looked at anything about this topic says to me yesterday that he thinks maybe I've just taken things too far. It's like, dude, flat Earth is kind of the tip of the iceberg. I mean, we haven't even gotten into all of the megalithic structures around the realm and the one world magnificent civilization with the Greco-Roman architecture that had to exist. And like the pyramids being some type of probably free energy system, and the buildings could actually conduct electricity. And it's a huge, deception. And then you got to get into the fact that like there are cataclysmic resets, and like orphan trains appeared in the 1800s. Like, it looks like reset was, relatively recent. And it happens relatively frequently, like every 200 years or so. And maybe it doesn't always reset the whole realm, but there is definitely catastrophic weather events that occur repeatedly, and we're just building civilization on top of civilization, like ancient civilizations. Like, I was thinking yesterday about, how we're told cavemen are what made everything. So cavemen built all these megaliths, I guess, and then invented fire after that. Or maybe cavemen were the survivors after that cataclysm because they were smart enough to go into caves. I figure that back when it was a realm that was not infiltrated by evil, it was well known that cataclysm occurred, And that's why there are probably these underground cities and things like that. Like, they were built for that. Or they're underground cities because they were once above ground, and there have been that many resets that they're now totally underground. Or maybe it doesn't even have to be that many resets. Maybe it was that, you know, that much land. I mean, liquefaction occurs somehow. I mean, supposedly this is so catastrophic, like it happens in like a day. Like the Grand Canyon was like not formed in millions of years. It's more like one afternoon. And I don't know if it's some type of weapon. I kind of feel like there is a big system reset that even the elites are afraid of. And then I also feel like they may do mini resets. I mean, it does seem like reset might be built into a simulation just as a protective measure, because, like in a time matrix, because if you end up in some dystopian hell realm, at least the system does eventually reset. So, anyways, I don't think I've taken anything too far by thinking the earth is not a globe. And I told him, I said, I think that was really rude. I mean, why don't you just say that's interesting or whatever? You don't need to try to guide me into nothing. And, but he's eaten up with that religious stuff, I think, still. I mean, I don't think he practices religion or anything, but I think he was born and raised in a church. And so he's still got a lot of that programming. Like, I don't think he actively ever, goes as an adult. But it's just, it's crazy. Like, they try to push that, they're trying to save everybody. But look, if God is actually this all-loving being, then he created everybody. Now, I don't think that the God of this realm is all-loving anything. I think the highest cosmic mother goddess is the loving one, and then the AI system is the mimic posing as God, impersonating her. In Judaism, originally, it was always well known that the Holy Spirit was feminine. And in the Gnostic writings, like in the Nag Hammadi, I think it does, or the Dead Sea Scrolls 1, Christ does still refer to his mother, the Holy Spirit. I'm not exactly sure how the timeline actually goes, because I don't feel like our historical timeline is accurate at all. But whenever this switched from a matriarchal realm to a patriarchal realm, they tried to just erase the feminine everything. The Trinity was the mother, father, and child. I mean, it wasn't three forms of one man. That's not how creation works. It's not just centered in some egomaniacal man. Like, I've seen that, like, the highest creation is just like logic. And then the first being that sprung from it is the goddess. Like, that, I think it was her that said, what else is there? And then everything appears at once. I did not share any of what I was doing with my makeup because this is not a makeup channel. And I don't figure you care. And I don't really even like, I mean, like, I don't put on makeup every day because it's just not good for you, you know, but at the same time, I have 2 daughters and I feel like I need to know how to do makeup. And I did not know how to do makeup at all until I was about 35, so about 8 years ago. And my daughter is almost 12. And it was Lynn, I mean, because she's real girly. And so I decided that I needed to learn how to do it because I knew that if I didn't know how to do it by the time she gets to like this age, the teenage age, that would just be something that we could not bond over. It would be, you know. So, and makeup is one of the things that we do actually agree on. We do not have any agreement typically when it comes to fashion. So, just thought I'd rant about my neighbor. I think it's rude to say you've gone too far or that you're needing to guide me or anything. Because, like, when I share my feelings here or on social media anywhere, I am not trying to tell other people, oh, you have to think what I do. If you don't think what I do, then you're stupid, or, you know, my way is the only way. I don't think that at all. That's not how I view reality. I honestly feel like we are each our own individual universe, somehow having a collective experience with certain parameters, but like what you believe is what is true in your universe. I mean, we are all fractals of the same consciousness getting to know itself. I feel like this is like a quarantined realm, and basically like a shield is placed around it. Like beings cannot come in, but we can go out. Like we can get out. And we've just been locked here since whenever it was quarantined. It was just the beings that were here when it was quarantined. That's who recycles. Now, obviously, I could be totally wrong, but I cannot help what I see, like, in my mind and the feelings and stuff. And I really feel like those things are valid. You know, if you can envision it, it exists somewhere. I feel like we definitely have other existences going on, and we're far more spiritual than this materialist construct wants us to think. I mean, I feel like we're probably supposed to be just living very simply and doing a lot of meditation and collective thing. I mean, I bet if we all together thought the same thing at once, it could like instantly happen. It's just hard to say, but awakening is an individual journey. And I'm just going to have to tell this guy, if you want to still talk to me, you're going to have to stop acting like you know better than me. I'm totally okay with you not agreeing with what I say, but I'm not going to sit there and say that your stuff is stupid or wrong, because I'm of the opinion we can literally live in different constructs. But I'm also of the opinion that you're worshiping an AI system. And that's why you feel so conflicted within, because it's really the God within and this external construct. And then there's a divine force that's external as well that I would call Sophia or Mother Nature. And that's almost like us, like in the external in this realm. And then there's the Demiurge or Yaldabaoth, the AI system that put the evil in this realm. And those are the dueling forces. And then the Demiurge manifests in us as parasites. So, anyways, I'm done with my rant and I'm done with my makeup. I'll try to post more. Y'all have a good day.